Well, good evening, and thank you for joining us on our stream of tonight's second 11 T20 match. Didsbury in the blue, batting, won the toss and decided to bat, and just as they did that, it started to rain, so we've had a delay in proceedings. We're just coming to the end of the first over, and the first wicket you've just seen there, that's Sam Youds out. Caught behind, we heard that from here. So catch for Carlos Wakefield. And an early wicket for Ben Duckworth, the bowler, left arm over. Just for any extraneous noise you can hear, just set up the effects microphone, but that's an early blow for Didsbury, the holders in this competition. So we've got 17 overs aside as a result of that rain. Still drizzling around now a bit. I made that over. Too many in, I beg your pardon. So there we go. We'll go back to the original over. So we'll just try that again. Yes. So there is one ball to come, and just put the details in correctly of the dismissal. So Sam hits the early wicket. Just as we sorted out the scoreboard, just a bit of a kerfuffle getting started when it was by surprise, but there we are. That is the end of the first over. 3 from it. As I said, 17 overs a side game this has been reduced to. Didsbury winning the toss and choosing to bat. Stockport Georgians looking very smart in their T20 kit, and also all these numbers on the back as well, which is a real bonus for myself and Neil Wakefield, who's scoring for Stockport Georgians tonight alongside me. Identifying Jonah Wall as the bowler from the far end, the Fletcher Moss end. Tall lad Jonah as well. They're all 6 foot something, a lot of these Georgians players. They're feeding them up there. But it should be a good contest tonight. As I say, Didsbury are the holders of the T20 trophy. Won it something to spare last year, but it's a different challenge again this year, and Georgians are a very competitive team. They had a terrific win in their first game in this tournament, which we'll talk about in a moment. We're going to see Jonah Wall. Jack Hastings on strike, big number 10 on his back. That's flicked away. I think he's got a leading edge on that, not where he intended it. That's a single for Hastings. He's glad that didn't fly off somewhere else. Third man has come in now to find leg. You see umpire Kapoor going to the wrong. What's he done now? He's dropped something. There we go. Rocky picked that up. Steve Kirkbride, the umpire at the far end. Just as left-handed downward takes strike. That's short. They've gone for a run in the end. He's dabbed it down. Good alert play there from Jack Hastings already. Put a dot down there, but good calling. Yes, Didsbury's first game, a very low scoring one with Romilly. You might remember that was a few weeks ago we had that on. On the same night, Stockport Georgians knocked off 207, would you believe, in their T20 to beat Hyde, which Neil was telling me was an absolutely fantastic game. And that's whacked by Hastings. He got away with that. It's not quite where he was intending, I don't think, but nonetheless effective. Power plays reduced to 5 overs in this reduced overs match, and in that time just 2 men out. And they do have a third man and cover on the boundary, the Georgians, but that one went over the head of backward point. It was on the 30-yard circle. It's a shorter boundary on the right hand side of the ground as you're looking at your screen. So that will be what the players will be aiming at. Oh, there, goodness me, clean ball though. Jack Hastings was aiming down the ground and was just completely undone by a good one from Jonah Wall, and he's clean bowled, and that is a terrific start now for Georgians. 2 wickets in the first 2 overs and 2 of Didsbury's bigger players out. Jack Hastings clean bowled, comprehensively bowled there. Jonah Wall, he's out for just 6. And Didsbury 2 down already with just 9 on the board in this second over. This is Tom Beresford. Seastra coming into the picture at the moment. Dan Ward just walked off to meet him, but this is a real setback for Didsbury early on. Jack Hastings was prolific in this competition last year. Got 100 in the semi-final and 95 in another game, 2 of the 50s. But tonight he's gone very cheaply, and having been put into the field first, Stockport Georgians have made a wonderful start. So some rebuilding for Didsbury to do. Still that's drizzling, isn't it? The other end. Still very grey and looking a bit uncertain. Well, that's a wide ball. By Steve Kirkbright. As I say, a minimum of 17 overs, but that can be reduced further down to, it has to be a minimum 12 overs a side game for a result in tonight's match. Both umpires are fully aware of that. It's one of those not great evenings, to be honest, for umpires. This rain in the air, you might be on and off, and you've got over 8 calculations to work out. But conditions have relented sufficiently to at least get started, which is a good thing. And hopefully at a day like this at least we should be able to complete something. Tom Beresford just taking his time there, as you might understand. So that's 2 good overs and 10 for 2 the score. Didsbury with something to think about here. They haven't been in this position in a game, in a T20 match, for quite a while. But, some thinking, rebuilding to do tonight, for sure. Within, and Dan Ward forward carefully. Scoring program hadn't updated, so the overs remaining is correct now on the bottom of the screen. 15 remaining, less 2 balls now, but Ben Duckworth, who a very talented young man, bowling very accurately, is playing a lot of good level cricket this year, is young Ben. He's moving very quickly back to his mark as well, which is good to see. Get through these overs. 65 minutes they have to bowl the overs, Stockport Georgians. Nice single from Dan Ward there. It's very difficult to stop the run, but it's only one. And smart piece of running from him. We wanted to find the boundary in these power play overs, particularly. We've got, where's the men back? We've only got 1 back. Oh, there's 2 back. 3rd man and cover on the boundary. Tom Beresford. Yep, signalled by umpire Parth Kapoor. There's a last last-minute replacement for Ian Barber, who should have been standing tonight, but his exertions on the ground over the last few days, I think, have left Barb's in need of a rest. Maybe see him down here later. But Rocky's a perfectly good stand-in for him. So nicely bowled, and that looked better than it actually was. We were right behind that. Looked like it was coming sweetly through the covers, but right off the bottom of the bat, so just a single. Georgians having to adjust for the left hand, right hand, but they're doing that pretty smartly. Wasting time, which is good to see. That's shorter, but that's straight out to the man on the cover boundary. So just a single for Dan Ward. A few yards either side, that was 4, but it's a very well positioned fielder. Straight to him. So just one ball left of this third over. Spent up with his in. Oh, and that's gone right through. Now that's going to be 4. Is that going to be 5? 4 runs, so it's flicked away. Didn't see that from our angle, but 4 runs. That had gone through the wicket-keeper's gloves for a moment, but a welcome boundary for Didsbury. Last ball of that over, so they're up to 18 now. Two batters having a chat. So we're going to see Jonah Wall again. The left-hander on strike. Oh. Just trying to sort the field out. They've realised they've got the left-hander on, so third man's dropped back and fine legs come into the fielding circle. Lovely shot from Dan Ward, and he's got it through the gap now. That might go all the way. Is it? No, cut off. Fielder at mid-wicket got a hand on it. He's wringing his hand. Oh, it's gone for 4 anyway. I thought he'd been cut off there. Just got it through. The fielder slid away to the mid-wicket boundary. Put 4 in the end, and the man at mid-wicket who took a lot of the power off that shot is looking rather ruefully at his hand. I thought he'd taken enough off for the fielder to get to it, but no. The speed of the ball in the outfield. That looks a bit wide and is called wide as well. It's a bit of an untidy start to this over for Joe on the Wall. Yes, it's fine leg and cover on the left-hander's offside, so anything, he's got to be pitching this up, this young Joe. If there's anything short, we'll get walloped. Oh, he's lost his run up now. Going to get a dead ball signal? No, we are not. We'll put that down in our report, the umpires. Just assume that's a dead ball. Short. Batsman made an attempt to cut it away, flailed at it like it was a wide, but umpire perfectly happy with that. I think it stopped raining, which is quite remarkable, because it was one of those nights it didn't look like it would stop at all, but still must be some drizzle blowing around. That was shot very straight, and he's got away with that, I think, Jonah Wall, a little bit. It's a bit too short, but Dan Ward, I think, was coming forward, couldn't readjust his balance in time. Just plays it away. Dot balls after that 4 off the first in the wide. Good recovery from Jonah Ward. 3 dots. Oh, ball, which Cameron was too early on. The man at backward square leg. Again, in perfect position to stop any run. So an over I think Georgians will be happier with than Didsbury at the moment. It's 5 from it. This is the last ball of this 4th over. Well, that's a full toss now, Dan. Can't profit from it at all. So yeah, I think that's a better over for Georgians than Didsbury in total. We're through 4 overs. Didsbury not at a run a ball yet. Two young players, good test for them. I think we're going to have a change of bowling, Neil, I think, are we? Or, yeah. So this looks like Mr. Ashton. Now, Saul can play any time for me with a big white number 24 on his back and his name. Oh, right. Excellent. So he's right arm over, yeah? Yeah, good. So end up with 2 overs, 1 for 11. Good opening spell from him. He'll be coming back. So he's lost. He's dropped the ball altogether. Now we have got a dead ball signal. There we are. We'll make a note of that, Rocky. Well done. Slipped out of his hand completely. I think technically the batsman will be entitled to hit that. But the umpire wisely called dead ball before anything could be done, and we'll just do it again. Oh. This is my first look at Saul, and that's, well, give my age away, that's a Lance Cairns type action, isn't it? The wrong foot. Yep. I was reading an article about Chris Harris, the New Zealand bowler, recently. He was another wrong foot merchant. Quite a skill to bowl off the wrong foot. He's getting it nice and straight. Tight start for Saul Ashton. Didsbury unable to break this spell of dots. It's 8 dots in a row now they've had. This is the power play. Still be conscious that it's little time to waste in T20 as it is, but when you've lost 3 overs and you've chosen to bat, you need to be making more impact on the scoreboard than this. So keep counting, that's 9 dots in a row. And still can't get it away. Tom Beresford. So almost through another over. 5 dots. These two have got to get out of this rut. Spoil the power play. And he has got some runs. He's hit it nicely, Tom Beresford, through the gap. He's going to get at least 2. Might push for 3 here. Should push for 3. Are doing. Well, that's good positive running to finish with at least. So a welcome break for Didsbury from all those dots. And that is the end of the power play. 26 for 2. Very much Georgians power play. The 3 boundaries in it, that's all. 2 wickets, 2 big players. So now the fielding restrictions change. And we've got... we'll have a change of bowler. It's going to continue. So it'll be his 3rd. 32 bowlers can have 4 in now that the overs have been reduced. Bowlers can have 3. The umpires will have sorted that with the captains. Here's John Wall in. That's a nice shot. Oh, and dropped. You might have seen that on the screens at mid-off. A couple of runs for Tom Beresford. I say it dropped. It was a diving effort. It was an incredible catch. The ball was hit nicely in the air. Mid-off field. Who was that? The captain. So yes, Rhys Kibble. We think that the captain at mid-off dived across, got a hand to it. I think we'll call that a save for rather than a drop catch. That's straight up in the air, and he's. Oh, that is a brilliant catch. You saw all of that one-handed. Sam Bailey sprawling across, skidding along the ground, coming in from cover, and you saw all of that. A terrific catch by him. A bit of a leading edge, and that is a 3rd wicket. And this is a real problem for Didsbury. Tom Beresford out for 10, 12 balls it took him. And Didsbury 28 for 3. Stuart Stoneman is going to be the next man in. Just striding over the boundary edge now. And Didsbury in a real spot of bother here. Just looking at the details as they are. There's 20 dots. 32 balls bowled. Includes those 3 wickets, which is that's the real currency for Georgians. They've had a terrific start, much the better of the power play. And very experienced Stuart Stoneman coming in. He got 100 at the weekend, I think. Stuart, he's been batting very well for the 2s. Very experienced player. Great to have him back at Didsbury, and he's going to need to do a job tonight. He's a fit guy as well. He's running between the wickets to be done. He'll be okay for that. But this is a big task for any player. So Jonah Wall, 2 for 14, comes in, bowls to Stoneman. Again, his first one away, but misses it. Field has changed. 3rd man and fine leg, cover on the boundary, and square leg on the boundary. It's a nice way for Stoneman to get off the mark. He's quickly through for a single. Part of me thinks that's done Didsbury a bit of a favour, because they were managing perfectly well with 2 out. We weren't exactly hammering it everywhere. And the Georgians, as captains often do, they think the end of the power play, they just change it almost by default. But I wonder sometimes, why don't you just keep it as it was? It was working pretty well. But no, he's still got the 4 men out. He's skibbling, see him at wide mid off there, pointing to where he wants his fielders. Nice shot from downward, that's down the ground, it's going to be 4 runs. That's a lovely shot. Proper cricket shot. And you probably saw all of that as well on your screens. Straight down the ground. And a nice boundary for Dan Ward. Second. The ball to go 7 off this over. That's the best over of the innings so far for Didsbury, which gives you an indication of their struggles. And now again, I see another funny thing. 1 shot and the whole field changes. That's why. Now I think, yes, we've only counted 5 now. So that is, we're going to have to end the over. So we've had a 5-ball over. Which is not satisfactory. I shall make a note of that. But we've just got to get on with it. That's the decision that's been made. I was wondering why the field was changing on the basis of 1 shot. but it was changing because the umpires had called over and we've got them called it a ball short. Anyway, such as it is. 33 for 3 off 6. Saul Ashton into Stuart Stoneman. And that looks wide. It is wide. Very decisive with his signalling, Rocky. And we all heard and saw that, which is how it should be. As good as an umpire for your calls to be audible all over the field, to the players' benefit. So 5th wide. Georgians want to keep those to an absolute minimum, of course. Not any more than they have to. Nice shot from Stuart Stoneman. That's going to be 4 as well. We're not going to stop that. That's a lovely extra cover drive. And he's away properly with that. And that'll make him feel better too. Didsbury are going to need impetus like this. They're still going to be looking at least for 120, which will be a runner ball of 20 overs. That's sort of the minimum, but on this ground, such a fast outfield, you need, I think, more than that. Certainly with Georgians in the form they're in this competition, you'll need quite a few more than that. Nice shot again from Stoneman. Certainly going to be, it's going to be 2. They're going to push for 2. No, Stuart Stoneman was interested, but good work in the field. Sid Samuel sliding around there, keeping that to 1. Must be quite greasy on this surface with the rain we had just before the start. Georgians just adjusting here, so we've got deep mid-wicket back on the boundary, deep backward square leg on the boundary, deep point, and a 3rd man, and a fine leg, so yeah, 5 out, so just the 4 in now. This is, I think, playing into Didsbury's hands a little bit because there's a lot more gaps just to deflect the ball around, and that's, you see, that's an example, just an easy run there for Dan Ward. And every time there's a run, it's the right hand, left hand switching round, so fielders have got to stay on their toes, that they're got the right number in the circle. And here on the effects, Mike, the wind is picking up a little bit. See the trees on the far side of the ground just starting to ruffle. That's a full toss. Should be runs there at least. Yep. Round. Single. This is more like it from Didsbury. They're going to need to just keep these dot balls to a minimum. At least get a run. A ball. And the ball from here will take them to 1 or 3. But we want a lot more than that. So last ball of the 7th over. Nicely hit by Dan Ward. It's only going to be a single though. As Chris Dodd comes round from mid-on to field. So 8 off that over, 15 off the last 2 for Didsbury. So that's just giving them a bit of a boost, but still only 42. So 7 overs. Jonas can have his 4 by the looks of it. So, yeah, and understandably so. 2 for 19. He's bowled very well, very tidily. Conceded a boundary in each over, but it's not been. In most cases, there've been drives. Not been any. That's fair enough if batsmen are going to hit you. So anyway, he's in for his last over. Full toss. Oh, well fielded by the bowler. That should have been runs. Out there, Dan Ward. Nicely flicked, but that's only going to be a single. Oh, the man at deep backward square leg was nearly done by the spin of the ball then. He just lost his footing on the surface. A bit greasy, but managed just to get behind it, stop it to just a single. Neil Pennington, I'm told, is the man out there. One of two men on the offside boundary in front of the wicket. Nicely done. By Stoneman, another single for him. Oh. Just feeling for that, Dan Ward. Just be conscious, he'll need to keep rotating the strike. 14 off 19. He is now. Certainly well capable of doing that, Dan Ward. And he's found the gap there, he's put that through wide mid-off. Should be a couple. And that's easy too far. And Bashir, the fielder, scrambling back down there. One of the men involved in that epic run chase in your last game, I believe, isn't he? Wakefield, my fellow scorer, nodding his head. Yes, it was 69 Farhad. You can see him in the top of the shot there at mid-off correction to the left-hander. Big stand with Chris Dodd got 100 in that game. That's a wide ball. Didsbury will welcome that. And that'll be an irritation for Jonah Wall. That should have been the last ball of the over. And only 4 off it so far, but there's 5 of it now and another ball. Be interesting to see what we can do with this extra ball, if we can really make that count. We'll try to, Dan Ward, but he's... Oh, and there's a hesitation here, and this should be run out. Oh, and goodness me, a real mess. A leg by in the end. Oh, the comedy of errors. Dan Ward, a rather ungainly attempt to hoik the ball. He got hit. He was obviously in pain. Stuart Stoneman called him immediately through. Dan was hobbling around a long way short, and then Georgians made a real mess of the throw, couldn't gather it. A leg by is the result. So that's a fine spell from Jonah Wall. 2 for 24 off his 4 overs. And he's given his side a great start. Just 9 overs remaining for Didsbury. That rate is still just hovering around the 6. They'll need to be pushing that above, but obviously the accurate Georgians bowling. The fielding's been good too. And that's an example that's hit hard, but that looks like young... Is that Ben? It was there. Ben Duckworth at extra cover. Hit hard, hit very well, straight to the fielder, and batsman unable to get a run. Stuart Stoneman just having a word with young Dan Ward. It's a good idea. The experienced player just saying to the young man, look, you're in now. Let's just keep rotating. Don't get frustrated. Another wicket really will put Georgians in a terrific position. Nicely done. Single. Didsbury players shouting encouragement, as they should be doing. The clouds just looking a little bit higher. There's a bit more definition to them now. It was just blanket grey when it was raining earlier. But that's always good. We can see a little bit of, call it sort of brightness. Get too carried away. Oh, nice slower ball from Saul Ashley. Maybe he saw the batsman trying to plant that onto the road. Single is the result. The Didsbury 50 up in this 9th over. Oh, this guy's slower ball there from Saul Ashton. He's bowling very well done for 14. He did a terrific job. He's Lance Cairns look-alike. There it is. Nice shot again for Dan, but just a single. fielders seem to be in exactly the right position. Finding them with unerring accuracy. Just the 4 men in the circle. 5 legs coming now, I think, as well. Knocked away, and there's a single for Stillman. Still, it's just singles. Is all they can get off Saul Ashton. He's conceded 1-4. Last ball of the 9th over. He's just past halfway now in the innings. Dan Ward hits it. That's going to be 4. He's found the gap at last on that offside. 4 runs for Dan Ward to finish that over, and that'll make him and Didsbury feel a lot better. 8 off the over in total. That's 56 now. The score after the 9 overs, so 8 remaining, as you can see. Reduced to 17 overs after some rain immediately after the toss. Didsbury just around about a run a ball. It does look like Duckworth, doesn't it? Ben Duckworth's going to switch ends by the looks of it, is he? He's pointing and he's running off. It's definitely going to be the captain, Neil informs me. So, Rhys Kibble. Spin from him. Let's just have a look. I imagine the 4 back, yeah, the field's just coming across, so long off, long on, deep mid wicket, and deep square leg on the leg side. We've got a man at deep point, so quite square, just backward of square actually. But he's the only, he's there. There's a fielder at cover who's got an awful lot of ground. Either side of that fielder at cover is going to be a boundary. So, 4 men on the leg side. Well, that's nicely done. Stuart Stillman is too far on the legs. That's come right down in front of us. Nearly hit our effects mic. 4 for Stuart Stillman. That's a good start for him. Rhys Kibble's first ball. Drifted too far. Perhaps compensating for that concentration of fielders on the onside that he's put into position as say just the 4 on the offside. So he's going to try and keep it straight if he can, but that was too straight, too much. That's back for the fielder. Oh, it was done very well actually. It was coming in quite quickly. Nearly bobbled through his legs on the backward point boundary, but kept it to 1. We'll switch around the field for the left-handed Dan Ward. Nicely driven, that should be a single. Yeah, well stopped by the bowler, but couldn't prevent the run in the end.
Yeah, well done, kid.
Again, the field is switching round. Just having a look. So we've had 40 minutes, 9 and a bit overs in 40 minutes. That's not too bad. Oh, and he's gone big, Stuart Stillman, and I think that's gone all the way for 6. Yes, that's a great shot. Bang, right over the sight screen. You can see the umpire there signalling 6. First one of the innings. Great blow from Stuart Stillman. He moves into the 20s with that. Just had 11 balls, 21 for him. And this is just giving Didsbury a little bit of much needed momentum. Partnership's 40 now. And Rhys Kibble, he's got 2 balls left of this over. And be thinking about, he doesn't want to pitch it too far up, so it's a lot shorter, and he's powered that out into the leg side, but field around smartly from deep mid wicket to keep it just to 1. Thought he'd dissected the gap between the 2 there, but no. So 13 off this over so far, and a ball to come, and that's more like it for Didsbury. They'll need a few more of these overs to put a really challenging total on the board. Very full, and back to the bowler, so a dot to finish, and a real relief for the captain. That's been an expensive over best one for Didsbury, 13. I think even I can work out the run rate without referring any further now. 69 for 3 off 10, 7 overs left. And no, I think we're going to have a change, because Sid Samuel must be that only one bowler can bowl 4 as a result of restrictions. You would think, because Ashton bowled perfectly well, 3 overs for 20. Can't see any good reason for taking him off other than that he's had his allocation with the reduced overs in the match. So field just scuttling around. We've got 3 men on the offside boundary now in different places as Sid Samuel is in. Stoneman down the wicket, but that's gone into the air but short of the fielders, who are right back on the boundary, just a single. Thankfully didn't connect properly with that, because that would have been caught had he done so. It's a big boundary on that offside for the right-hander. 2 men back, a long way from the ball when it landed. Now, is Sid Samuel going to come around the... Just having to adjust the sight screens here. The left-hander. He's still coming over the wicket. Lots of things, yep. So we've got fine leg, deep backward square leg and deep mid-wicket on the boundary for the left-handed Dan Ward. 2 men back on the offside boundary. Oh, and he's picked one out, I think. Has he? No, it's... Oh, Sam Bailey. I thought he'd picked him out there, did you? But in the end decided to stop the boundary. Sam Bailey, not confident of getting there. Kept it to 1. I think in some ways a fair enough decision. Now Stuart Stillman's having a look at that leg side boundary. It's a much shorter hit for him. And he's gone for it, and he's going to get... Oh dear, that's poor fielding finally. That's the first bit of poor fielding. That's 5 wides, and that is a real gift for Didsbury. .76 the score now as a result, and that is 5 wides in this particular context is manna from heaven. That short fine leg, and the sprawling dive couldn't stop it. So Sid Samuel under a bit of pressure now. And that looks like he's got away with that. Stuart Stillman, you can see, throws his head back. That should have gone on the road. But it's just scuffed out in the offside, and it's no run. So relief for the bowler there. I'm sure when he released that, he'll have thought, oh no. But Stuart Stillman couldn't profit from it. Oh, and again, I think come on slower than he thought. He's going to scramble 1, just 1. Toe end of the bat again. Stoneman. But a single nonetheless. So let's see, partnership 49 now, so 1 away from a good stand and a much needed partnership for Didsbury after those 3 early wickets. And he's got it. And applause from this knowledgeable Didsbury crowd for the 50 partnership. Turn the microphone off before drawing their attention to the fact, anyway. But a good effort. Now Stillman's come down the ground. Just 1 bounce single. Man coming around from long off. Man in front of him. So another profitable over for Didsbury. That's 10 off that over, 23 off the last 2, and they're up to 79 for 3 now, with 6 overs remaining. It's partnership 51. That's 36 balls with the wides, and very much needed. Both batsmen 25. The run rate over 7 now, and they want to keep it in that sort of area at least. There's Reece Kibble for an expensive first over, went for 13 to the boundary twice. He's going to have to organise his field. So his long on has come round to long off. You maybe just see that on the top end of your screen. Deep mid wicket, deep backward square leg. And it's those gaps on the offside that Stuart Stoneman will be eyeing up. Oh, and a missed stumping. Yeah, he was eyeing it up. And Nielsen Carlos behind the stumps, but he's missed out there with that one, unfortunately. See how costly that proves to be. Stoneman aware of the need to find the boundary again in this over. Well, it's 2 dots, and not the worst thing in the world for Georgians. If they can't take wickets, at least keep the dots flowing. That's 30 dots we've had now. The allocation, Stoneman down the wicket, hits hard and hits well for 4. He's gone into the gap where the long on has been moved from. So 4 runs for him. And that's experience for you there. Saw the man had been moved and came down. Tried to do that first ball and missed. Could have been stumped, got away with it. 83 for 3. 5.5 overs remaining, so he's got a long off and a long on now, and he's going to have to bring somebody up. Yeah, there he is, the third man. He's right. He's come in now. Third man and fine legger in the circle as mid-wicket cover. Everybody else back on the boundary. Stoneman, I think, has found the gap again. He has. He's superbly hit on the leg side. Deep backward square leg and deep mid-wicket, but on this outfield, timed like that, you've absolutely no chance. And a few yards to go, they weren't going to stop that. That's well hit. And so consecutive 4s, Stuart Stoneman into the 30s now. Oh, that's a full toss, should go to the boundary and is going to go to the boundary again. Yeah, has done on that offside this time. As we said, very little cover on that offside. Stoneman, that's why he didn't really bother running, because he knew that had plenty on it. So 3 consecutive 4s. Didsbury into the 90s now, 91. Absolutely wonderful for them to revive like this. He's down the wicket again, just a single this time. So that's another 13 off a Reece Kibble over. He's bowled 2 overs for 26. Didsbury not complaining about that at all. 92 for 3 now with 5 overs remaining. Still on to 38 in the partnership, 64 now. Absolutely vital. Samuel's going to come have another one. Looks of it. So at the moment, a runner ball will take Didsbury to 1-2-2. 8 and over 1-3-2. I would suggest it's going to need to be looked around the 8 and over mark, because Georgians are well aware of what they can do with the bat. A lot of good players. And actually gone a bit brighter again now. Not a bad evening for cricket, all told, I don't think, Neil. We've done pretty well. Yeah. Indeed so. Samuel in, and that's going to be 4 more for Stuart Stoneman, who's using his experience now to find the gaps to good effect. It's 4 4s in his last 5 balls. He's gone into the 40s now, and absolutely vital that he's done that for Didsbury. What a good innings it's been. Samuel under pressure, boundary off the first ball, and that's moved away. It's going to be 1. Ward now, the left-hander back on strike, who's had a bit of a struggle during the innings, and he'll be aware of it, but advice from Stuart Stoneman just to stay in. They've built this partnership, built momentum. Now Ward just needs to get Stoneman back on strike. Obviously hit it, it's there to be played at, and he has done. Well caught at long on. Caught by Chris Dodd. Just as I was saying, he needed to stay there. Dan Ward decided to do the opposite and has paid the price. He's well caught at long on. Out for 25. 3 4s for Dan Ward off his 30 balls. He's coming off now, but played his part. As Chris Elsdon will replace him, particularly in that partnership for the 4th wicket. 69 it was, as Dan Ward gets a good round of applause. He could have just taken the single there, Dan. Just kept the momentum going, but decided to go aerial. So the tall Chris Elston, you'll see him come into view, just having a chat with Stuart Stillman, who will be on strike. The batsman crossed. Elston perfectly capable of finding the boundary himself. Very handy player to be coming in at this time. 4.5 overs remaining, as you can see. 97 for 4. And Georgians will be very glad that that partnership has been ended. Still won't be unhappy with the scoreboard at this stage, I don't think. It's just the way Stillman's picking the boundaries off quite nicely now. Oh, having said that, I need to stop doing this now, because that was an ugly slog. Look, ill befits a player of Stuart's ability. Georgians just trying to plug the gap on that leg side. Now there's nobody on the leg side in the circle, so they're inviting the single through that gap and then put their man back at deep mid wicket. So there's got to be an easy run there. Yep, he's put it through that gap, straight to the man, has he? Oh, he's found him, he's beaten him. Rather, he's beaten the man. We've been moved to deep mid wicket, and that is that boundary that we were talking about. The Didsbury 100 up. 101 for 4. It's 5 fours in his last 8 balls now for Stuart Stillman, and he's moved on to 47. Just one more of those away from a very valuable half century indeed. Just organising the field for Sid Samuel. What are we doing? Are we good to go yet? So still that huge gap on the leg side. He's got offside this time. Just be a single. And keeps the strike. Stuart Stillman. So 10 more off that over. Good overs these for Didsbury. 4 remaining. 102 for 4. And I'm going to have a look at Neil Pennington. Am I right in saying he's more on the side for his batting than bowling? Neil, he bats up here. He's all rounded. There we go. So, well, my apologies to Neil and any of his family or friends watching. I don't obviously not seen Georgians very much, but obviously a very capable all-round cricketer. I've certainly seen his name appearing in the runs column for Georgians on a number of occasions this year. And he's going to have a bowl. He's replacing Rhys Kibble's spin with his, looks like spin of his own. Rhys Kibble 2 overs for 26. And I think he's organising his field now, Rhys. He's in the firing line at cover. And he's just trying to get his, he's got long off and long on back. But behind him at cover, he's putting the man on the boundary straight behind him, so he's straight at point. Oh, that's kept a little bit low. Ian Barber, if you're watching. Back on the offside boundary in front of square. Rhys Kibble has got an incredible job to do there if it goes that way, but that's down the leg side. It's only going to be a single though. Chris Elston calls Stuart Stillman through. 1 run. So Chris Elston's first ball. Just 3.5 overs to play yourself in. Not a lot of looking around to do. It's pretty obvious he's going to have to get bat on ball straight away. So if Neil Pennington bowls his over quickly, we'll be able to say he got through it in a flash. Bit of local knowledge there, Neil. Come on, it's not bad this time of the night. Chris Elston away with a single. 2 off 4 balls in this over, and Georgians delighted with that. It has a big impact at this stage. These dot balls really are worth a lot. That's short. It's going to get a single, and they'll just keep it to 1, I would think. Oh. Not far away from a run out, actually, this time. 50 for Stuart Stillman with the single. Well, that's a rather ungainly way to get to it, but it's been a terrific innings. 7 fours on a 6. It's 30 balls for Stuart Stillman and a very valuable innings for his club. As Chris Elston pushes one off the last ball of Neil Pennington's over. He was through it in a flash, and there's only 4 from it. And they'll be delighted. He'll be delighted with that. Georgians will too. That's dragged it right back for them. 3 overs remaining. 106 for 4. Stuart Stoneman, yeah, passing 50. As we said in that over, and that really has been a lifeline for Didsbury. Big players. So we are going to see Ben Duckworth now. I think this will be his last over. We'll find out. He's just had 2. 1 for 11. I think he's only allowed 3 now with the 17 over cut off. Let's see what he's got fielding wise. Screen's just being adjusted. Chris Elson wants him a bit wider, I think. It's not too bad, but it's not going to get any lighter. So long off is staying back. We've got deep backward square leg, and we've got backward point and cover on the boundary on the offside. Unusual. Third man is going back. So again, those 3 men back on the offside boundary. So 1 on the leg side boundary, and we've got the mid wicket in now. Short fine leg just out of your shot. Cover. And mid on. Wicket mid on, cover, short fine leg in the circle. There's Ben Duckworth. Oh, that's a full cover, and that's going to be 5 something. That's going to be either, it's going to be 5 wides, yeah, and again, manna from heaven for Didsbury. Where's Ben's dad gone? Hope he didn't see that. Oh dear. Characteristic start from Ben Duckworth. He bowled very well in his first spell, but got to come back. Not easy to do, but 5 wides. So a real bonus for Didsbury. It's another full toss, and that's another. It's called again. And that's going to be 5 more. Yep, straight down. Gosh, well, what an unforeseen start this is to the over. 2 lots of 5 wides. Well, that is a gift. 116 for 4 now. So effectively a 10-run donation. And just looking at the time, 59 minutes. They've got 65 minutes, I was told by the umpires, Georgians. I think they'll be okay. You can get overs deducted if you haven't bowled in time. They go as misfield, as Sam Bailey just slipped a bit there, a bit greasy. Couple for Elston. So, yeah, you can get overs deducted if you're beyond the 65, the time cut off. But I think they'll be okay. I'm sure the umpires can find an allowance somewhere for that. It's a bit harsh, I think, in these conditions. Nicely hit by Elston, but straight to the man at extra cover. He has been back in court. He has. Mike Kilbride, who you can't see in your picture, but is in some discomfort. I thought he'd hit it was on the bounce, but clearly not. Elston threw his head back. Good sharp catch, low catch at extra cover. Michael Kilbride, he looks in a bit of discomfort. Hopefully he'll be okay. Chris Elston, the man out. It's 4 off 5 balls for him. And he's still hobbling. I don't know whether he's landed awkwardly. It's Tom Bidwell, the left-hander, coming in for Didsbury in this strange over that we've had so far. Just 2 balls, 2 legitimate balls from it. 10 off the first 2 lots of 5 wides, and then a couple with a misfield, and then a wicket with a very good catch. The fielder's hurt himself. He's still hobbling now, Michael Kilbride. Tom Bidwell. Well capable of finding the boundary, Tom. 2 overs and 4 balls remaining, 16 deliveries in total. So that those 2 lots of 5 wides could be crucial. They've really given Didsbury a boost in their bid to get towards the 140 mark, which would be a challenging total. But they've still got some hitting to do. 22 away from that at the moment, and that will take some doing. Anyway, Tom Bidwell, left-hander. So the Georgians have got the left hand, right hand to cope with as well, and there's a couple of other left-handers to come. So see if Didsbury can make that count to their advantage. Tom Bidwell's going to have to run for that. Yeah, single, and just wisely. Saul Ashton fielding. You see him there in shot, just keeping it to 1. So the onus now really on Stuart Stoneman. Chance for a little bit of a breather. He's got to that 50. To him, and he's hit it nicely, went into the gap. It's just going to be a single because he's long off his right back. Field is adjusting again for the left-hander, and they're going to have to get a bit of a move on now. Just looking at my clock, 63 minutes. Maybe these wides will hurt them in that regard as well. Oops, that's off the leading edge, but into a gap. Tom Bidwell calling a single. So I do wonder actually if Georgians might get penalised here, depending on how the umpires have interpreted the time allowance. Any mitigating circumstances, maybe for moving sight screens. I don't know, we haven't lost anything. There's no balls to have to found. That's whacked. Well caught though by Saul Ashton. Gosh, I thought that a yard past him that would have been a boundary, but Saul Ashton moved very smartly to his right at mid-on and held on to a screamer. Another twist in this game as Stuart Stoneman, who has batted so well, is out. He made 51 off 32 balls, 7 fours and a 6, but he's got to depart. We're going to have 2 left-handers in now as Matthew Lakers comes in, but the applause you'll hear in a moment will be for Stuart Stoneman, who has dug Didsbury out of a very large hole with that fine half-century. Yes, that was the end. So 2 overs left, and we are right on the cut-off time now, 64 minutes. So this will be okay to start this one. So we're going to be over time, but I think the umpires will find out. So we're just at 17 each. We're going to get through now. Good start from Neil Pennington, just 4 off his last over and a dot straight away from him. Man back at deep mid-wicket. It's wide of the stumps, going to take a single out. Very well fielded. Sam Bailey did so well to stop it, and then unfortunately couldn't be gathered. And the ball's pinging around all over the place. It's 2. Sam Bailey just rolling it back this time. It was a great pick up and throw, but then missed at the stumps, and the batsman snuck an overthrow. So that's 123 for 6 now. And that's, I thought that had gone, but on top edge it's going to be an easy catch for Saul Ashton, so Bidwell is out. I thought he was looking for the road, understandably, but caught it short third man. Second catch for Saul Ashton, a good deal more straightforward than the first one he got hold of. As James Bidwell joins his brother, replaces his brother. Left-handers continue for Didsbury. James will be on strike. Tom miscued that one, so he departs for 4 or 5 balls. Obviously trying to get on with it. Seems through the wind in the effects microphone. He's just a bit stronger again. I beg your pardon, the head crossed. I was just put something else on. Matt Laker is going to be on strike. to round the wicket. That's a dot ball. And this has been a terrific couple of overs from Neil Pennington. 1 for 6 off 1.4 overs at this stage in the game. Is an absolute goal for Stockport Georgians. That's dragging them back into things. It's gone down the leg side, but flicked off the batsman. So it's a dot ball again. And what a spell. 4 dots in this over from Neil Pennington, just 2 conceded so far. Now that is going to be wide, and it's going to get a second run. So 2 wides. So a bit of relief for Didsbury. Can they make this extra ball count? 23 wides now, that is, Georgians have donated to this total of 125. With 1 ball remaining of the penultimate over, James Bidwell. He's going to have to get bat on ball straight away, and he has done. Gosh, where's that gone? But that's gone straight up in the air to long on. And Jonah Wall has taken the catch, so James Bidwell perishes in the cause. He's out caught at long on. First ball, so 125 for 8 as the over comes to an end. And Rohan Agarwal will be the new batsman for this final over. And it is going to be Ben Duckworth to bowl it, so it's 2 bowlers can have 4 in that case. But I think Rhys Kibble might be regretting not having Neil Pennington on a bit earlier. 2 for 8 off 2 overs at this stage. So yeah, Neil's saying he normally bowls a lot more than that on a Sunday, so maybe saying, as you might have heard, that Rhys Kibble only bowls occasionally. His 2 overs went for 26. Neil Pennington 2 overs, 2 for 8. Albeit the batsmen are trying to hit to get on with it. Nonetheless, that's an amazing spell for him in that in the context. So we're into the last over. Didsbury are going to need. We're talking about the 140. Well, that's 15 runs away. Now Ben Duckworth, who started his last over with 2 lots of 5 wides, is going to be hoping to obviously not repeat that. 68 minutes now we're on, so I do wonder if they might get a penalty, Georgians, but appeal for catch behind, but umpire Kapos is not out, but the dot ball Didsbury will take. Let's just undo that. So Rohan Agarwal on strike. And a lot for the new batsman to do. Very good bowler, Ben. He's really come on with his cricket. And that's going to be 2 dots to start this last over. So, having got themselves into a good position after 15 overs, 121 for 6, they've just added 4 runs in an over and a bit, Didsbury, and lost 2 wickets. 3 dots now. Well, goodness me, Georgians coming right back into this. Got that untidy spell in the middle. We had 27 off 3 overs in that middle spell. 4 off the last over. 3 dots in this last over, and Rohan Agarwal's got that one away. They're going to have to go for 2. They are going to go for 2. And I've got 2. Rohan Agarwal taking the throw on, and that pays off. 2 runs, 127, but only 2, and Georgians will not be unhappy with this. The only problem they might have is if they do get penalised. 6 minutes over now. It's when they started. They started the last over with 68 minutes on my clock. That's a good hit, a lovely hit. Agarwal, he's found the boundary at long on. And that was very well hit by the young man. Very welcome boundary for Didsbury. Takes them past into the 130s, 131 for 8. So last ball of the allocation. And Didsbury will be running as fast as they can. And Aguilar, he's gone for it. He's got 4 or 6. The 4. That's just 4. But 4 nonetheless. A good end to the over. 3 dots and then 10 off the last 3 balls for Rohan Agarwal. Didsbury finish on 135 for 8. And that's a very handy last little hurrah from the lower order. 10 off 6 balls for Rohan Agarwal. Those 2 boundaries off the last 2. Take Didsbury to 135 for 8 of 17 overs. We will wait to see if Georgians are going to be deducted an over or not. We will find that out for you. And we'll just confirm that as we come back. About 10 minutes time we'll get going again as the players come off the field. So Georgians will need to score 136 at just a shade under 8 runs and over. And it should be a fascinating match. And we'll see what's going to happen in about 10 minutes time. we are good to go again in second stanza of our T20 match tonight. Stockport Georgians requiring 135 runs to win. We're going to see James Bidwell bowling. You can see him with his number 8 on his back there on your picture. Just adjusting the screens to the left arm over from that end to finish with. So I've just got to work out who's where now in the field as we're looking around. This is going to be a big task for Didsbury to keep a powerful Georgians batting lineup in check. Let's see how we got on. James Bidwell in first ball, and Christopher Dodd is away with a single, a singular single, which brings Neil Pennington onto strike. Just the two men are allowed out in these first 5 overs. They are Tom Beresford is down at deep backward square leg, and Matthew Laker, who I presume will be bowling the second overs, down at third man. There's Bidwell, Youds here, Stoneman at slip, Rowan Agarwal at short fine leg. There's James Bidwell into Neil Pennington, who's down the pitch, and he's got it wide of mid-off. Jack Hastings, I think he's going to do well to stop it. Jack? No, he couldn't get there, as I thought not, once it's past him. Pennington wasting no time, down the pitch. And 4 runs. Good shot from him. Nice positive intent shown straight away. A splendid little bit of bowling from him. 2 overs, 2 for 8. And he's away with a 4 first ball and a nice shot as well. That's short from James Bidwell. Let's get it back in check there. So yeah, the usual ring of fielders. Helston at mid-wicket, Dan Ward at mid-on. Jack Hastings just throwing the ball back there to James Bidwell at mid-off. Hastings out very cheaply, one of 3 early wickets in the Didsbury innings. Set them right back, rescued by that 64 partnership between Stuart Stoneman and Dan Ward. And Pennington's gone for the gaps as well, and rightly so, and he's going to get another 4. Bit of a shovel, not a really fluent shot, but nonetheless very effective with all the fielders in. Short boundary on that right hand side, and that was there to hit, and well, not the most elegant of connections, effective nonetheless, and that's all that matters. The Georgians already on to 9. Sorry, I'm just having a bit of chocolate. Let's put a bit of sound on from outside now the players are out there. That's better. Pennington again, he's found the gap again. That's 4 more. He's got to get past Tom Bidwell. Backward point. That's a terrific start for Georgians now. This first over, and that was a much better shot, if you like, than the previous one. That was guided. Tom Bidwell at backward point. Fine fielder, but once it's past him, that's it. It's fast outfield. Arctic out there, doesn't it, with that wind on the effects, mate? But it's not that bad. Sounds a bit worse than it actually is, I think. So good. The bails have just come off as well. That's how blowy it is. Right, good first over for Georgians. Last ball coming up from it. What can James Bidwell do for Didsbury? Short. Pennington has dabbed a single into the offside to end a very good first over for the visitors tonight. Stockport Georgians chasing 135. They've got 17 overs in total, so 16 remaining. We confirmed with the umpires in the interval that there wouldn't be. They were over the time. They should have bowled the overs in, but with various allowances, things are okay. So that's all fine. Matthew Laker, as we suspected, will bowl from the far end, the Fletcher Moss end, right arm over. Field, the men out, the 2 Bidwells are out, third man, and deep backward square leg, everybody else in the circle. And Didsbury with a bit of work to do. Georgians off really well. So Neil Pennington, 13 off 5 in that first over. Hit that beautifully. Went straight to mid-off, so it's only a single. That was very nicely hit, wasn't it? As I was saying earlier, in their first game in this tournament this year, Georgians knocked off 207 to beat Hyde. Albeit their ground a little bit smaller than Didsbury, but nonetheless that takes some doing. And a T20, it's a very similar looking side, certainly this opening pair. Played then, and they're away again with a single. Sells who can't stop it from mid-wicket. Georgians looking to take advantage of it's a 5-over power play with the 17 overs in total. And this is a really positive start from them. It's a big scalp. Didsbury, the holders in this competition, leading the second 11 Premier Division, having won it last year, so very much the strong side of the tournament. That's up in the air, I think. That's a bit of a gift. Sam Youds, I think, has caught that. And it was indeed Sam Youds who took a fine catch. And Neil Pennington there, I think, just gave that away a little bit. Possibly the plan for him to go for it while the field's up, that's fair enough. But, yeah, for Bashir, Neil confirms to me coming in. And Didsbury will be glad to see the back of Neil Pennington, that's for sure. 14 off 7 in total for him. 3 boundaries in that first over, nicely hit. Boundaries got Stockport Georgians off to a flyer. Didsbury will be delighted that he has gone. I think the batsmen have crossed though. Let's just look at my screen while they have indeed crossed, so Chris Dodd will be on strike. Fahad Bashir you'll see come into shot there. These are the two batsmen that shared a magnificent partnership in the previous game I referenced, where they chased 207. Dodd got 110. Was it 69? 69 Bashir got, yeah. Put on over 100 together in rapid time. So, 2 big players in for Stockport, and Ryan Wilson up to the stumps, trying to just keep some tabs on this, and that's better. Stuart Stillman in from short cover. It's only the 3rd dot of the innings, that one, so better from Matthew Laker. When that's up in the air now, I think he's got past Dan Ward there. I don't think he's going to get to that. No, he couldn't quite judge where it had gone. Mid-on, running back. I don't think that was very cleanly gathered. Appeal for a run out, but it evaded the field. It must have been swirling around a bit. The throw came in, but I think the wicket was broken. The bowler didn't actually have the ball in his hands. One of those things. Anyway, Chris Dodd will have been relieved to get away with that one. 2 for him. A little bit sketchy. That's into a gap, but single. Oh no, Didsbury pinging the ball around here. Goodness me, boys. Steady on. Anyway, it's a better over for from a Didsbury's perspective. Just 5 from it. Georgians 19 for 1. After 2. That one just getting up a bit well. And James Bidwell, after an expensive first over that went for 14, is going to have another one. Didsbury got plenty of bowling options tonight. His brother Tom, of course. We'll have spin from Rowan Agarwal, Dan Ward. Also another option, Sam Youds as pace. Plenty of options. So it's going to be James Bidwell again. Bowling to Chris Dodd. Dodd just taking the singles as he can, wisely. One thing that Didsbury did have too many of in the early part of their innings was dot balls. Looking, there were 44 in total in the Didsbury innings. 20 of those were in the first 5. So they really couldn't get away during the power play. Jonah Wall and Ben Duckworth bowling very well. So Farhad Bashir's first ball. He's carefully behind that. That's well bowled. Better from James Bidwell. Just having a look around the field. See who's where. So Tom Beresford at short fine leg. Bidwell in a much better over so far. This first one, that's off the pads. That's having said it's a much better over than the first one. That's going to be 4 leg byes, I think. Yeah, 4 leg byes. Clearly signalled. This is what happens, Neil, when you say something, the opposite happens. It is absolutely true. A welcome boundary for Georgians, albeit leg byes, but all counts on the total. 24 for 1. 110 more they need. Going still well above the required rate, which is just around 7.5. That's edge into pad. So the final ball of the third over. To get off the mark, Farhad Bashir, I would have thought. And he certainly has this time. Clumped it down the ground. He's not going to get a boundary, but he should get 2. It shouldn't go for 4. Hasn't. Oh, it has. It has. It's roll away. So yeah, it's going to be. Sorry, it's just having a chat with Simon Normanton. He's come down from Georgians to watch his team. And Matthew Laker's going to bowl the 4th over. Good first over from him. Chris Dodd found the fielder Chris Elton straight there at mid-wicket, straight to him, so no run. And Didsbury just dragging this back a little bit. Better over from James Bidwell, that second one. 5 runs in total from it. Off his bowling rather, but the 4 leg byes as well. Going to go for 2. Oh, like it could have been close at one point, but in the end quite comfortable. 2 runs. Coming in from fine leg, Tom Beresford. Good alert running from Chris Dodd there. Nicely hit again, should only be a single this time, yeah, and you can see the fielder just making sure he stops the ball. It's the important thing. Keep these boundaries to a minimum. There's only been 4 of them. We only managed 3 in their power play. Bashir's first ball from Matthew Laker. Oh, goodness me. But that's good alert running from Chris Dodd again. He's going to get a bye for that, I think, is he? Yeah, looks like it, a bye. Very good alert running from the non-striker there. All pinged off the wicket-keeper's pads. Only just missed the stumps. But good alert running, gets the precious single. Chris Dodd back on strike. That's short. And that's out, yes, he's given out. And a bit unlucky there, Chris Dodd. Good keeping from Ryan Wilson, who caught it. It was glove onto thigh pad, and the ball just died, looped up in the air, and well caught. And that is a bit of a bonus for Didsbury. It's down the leg side. This is Ben Duckworth coming in. So Chris Dodd departs, and Didsbury will be relieved to see the back of him. 9 off 10 for him. And can feel himself a bit unfortunate, I think, there for one going down the leg side. It just, all the pace came off it because it hit the thigh pad having clipped the glove, and Ryan Wilson being up alert behind the stumps caught the ball, and that is a big wicket for Didsbury. 32 for 2 now, Georgians. One ball remaining in this 4th over. And how tall is Ben now? 6 foot something. 6'2", I reckon, something like that. And certainly bowled very nicely. Apart from that little spell of the 10 extra runs he donated to Didsbury with 2 lots of 5 wides. How crucial they'll prove to be. 23 wides in total of the 24 extras bowled. When Didsbury batting. Duckworth right behind it, but no run. So Didsbury doing having a better over there. Just 4 off it in total, and a wicket. Big wicket of Chris Dodd. 32 for 2 off 4. So I'll be much happier with life after that. So to that burst of 14 off the first over. Just 18 off the next 3 with 2 wickets. Tom Bidwell, yes, thanks Neil, just pointed out. So Tom Bidwell replaces his brother James. Both bat left and ball right, these two. All those curiosities. Bidwell's going to be bowling to Tom Bidwell's going to be bowling to Farhad Bashir. That's short straight away, brilliantly fielded by Stuart Stoneman at backward point. Goodness, diving stop, and it went so quickly. And Farhad Bashir will be feeling, right, understandably very hard done by there. That went like a rocket, and Stoneman indeed wringing his hand. He kind of flung himself in the direction of the ball. It was 4 for all money. Brilliant stop, but unlucky for the batsman. That's a nicer shot. Now he's guided that, and I think he's going to get 4 for it. Yes, he's guided that into the gap rather than trying to hit it too hard, and that's a lovely shot. Bashir not missing out a second time. So 2 fours for him. And yeah, that was a very nicely played shot. Just guided it past the backward point. And on the fast outfield here at Didsbury, good value. Well, he's just gesturing in a little way there, Farhad Bashir, that makes it look like he probably lost that some way. Didn't quite see it. It is gloomy. Certainly one of these where you're happy that there's a pink ball in use, because at least you can see it. It has deteriorated since Georgians have started batting, and he's gone up and over, and that's going to be effective. I think that's going to be 4 again for Farhad Bashir. Yeah, indeed. And just the 2 men out, and although one is out in that mid-wicket sort of area, he was too square. And Farhad Bashir climbing into that, so pressure on Tom Bidwell now. Georgians going to 40. Requirement under 194 now required. And up with the required rate. I feel quite happy with this power play. I think it'll be disappointed to have lost 2 wickets and the 2 opening batsmen, but nonetheless 40 on the board at this stage is a good effort. And short again from Bidwell. Shouldn't be a boundary this time. It's going to be a sliding stop. It's going to be a couple. Ben Duckworth scurrying back, running very well. 2 runs. 10 off the over, and a good over to end the power play for Georgians. 42 for 2. Didsbury only got 26 off their power play. This goes to show how well Georgians have utilised the 2 fielders back. So 12 overs remaining, 92 needed, around about 7.5 and over still. And you can see umpire Steve Kirk right there, he wasn't just flexing his arm, just indicating the second power play. So minimum of 4 in now, more men back on the boundary. It's Laker into Ben Duckworth. Oh, no, again a wild throw, but men backing up okay. Hastings alert to that from Elston. Bashir was somewhere down the stumps, down the pitch rather. Shy at the stumps from Chris Elston, but looks a bit wayward from here. We've got a fine leg and third man. Cover back on the boundary, deep square leg back on the boundary for Laker. Duckworth will just take a single to Tom Bidwell, backward point. Oh, bowled him, and Matthew Laker will be delighted with that, and that's another big wicket for Didsbury. Farhad Bashir found the boundary 3 times already, is clean bowled. A full length ball, no real foot movement, and he is bowled. Out for 14, a 3rd wicket for Didsbury. Yeah, thank you. And Didsbury fighting back. Matthew Laker bowling really well. He's 3 for 9 he's taken to 2.5 overs, and really accurate. No boundaries conceded yet. Didsbury know they've got a lot to do to defend this title, but they're just clawing their way back into the game. Georgians, as Michael Kilbride is the new batsman. 91 more required. We're just sneaking up towards 8, but that's not so much of a consideration just yet. They're roughly where they need to be. That's a big shout for LBW. Not out, says umpire Kirkbright, but a dot ball is the crucial thing as well. Didsbury will take that. And the light continues to, in my opinion, get fade. And Neil's nodding his head agreeing with me. So that will make it harder for the batting than the bowling side, I think. Last ball of this, correction. There's 2 balls to go in this over. In for a single. Elston with a more tempered throw from mid-wicket there, and there was 1 or 2 oohs and ahs from the Didsbury fielders. Can't have been far away. Single is the result. Michael Kilbride off the mark. Duckworth gets a single down to third man to finish. That's the finish of the 6th over, and another really good one from Matthew Laker. Just 3 runs from it, and that is excellent from him. 3 for 11 from 3 overs, his figures, and he really has dragged his side back into this game after that expensive first over. 14 off it, and although the Georgians have found the boundary 6 times in total and get the run rate healthy, still roughly where they need to be. Yes, it's going to be Sam Youds. He's replaced Tom Bidwell. Some more pace on the ball still from Didsbury. Youds missed out with the bat. Putting the bat in. So you just hear the wind again. Getting up. He was caught behind in the first over, Sam Youds, so got a 50 in the previous game. He'll want to make a contribution with the ball tonight. He's got a chance to. See the wind ruffling his clothing as he runs into bowl to Ben Duckworth. Oh gosh, that's a terrible start. And that's going to be a 5 wide. Yeah, a return donation. Ben Duckworth bowled 2 lots of those, And Sam Youds now returning the favour, and that's having got themselves right back into it. That's a terrible start. And, brings the 50 up for Stockport Georgians, and just as welcome as it was for Didsbury. Youds has got to get himself back together quickly. That's better. It's just a single. It is getting very dim out there. Very dim. Single is the result. Michael Kilbride just takes his card. It'll be his first ball from base from that far end. Nice. That's better from Sam Youds. Much fuller. Batsman didn't know where that was, and a dot ball the result. Makes a huge difference with this kind of total, the 5 wides off that first ball. But he's got to recover from that. So that's short, but cut away for a single. Does have good pace, Sam Youds. Actually made his first ever appearance for Didsbury against Stockport Georgians. Played for our threes. Got a lot of runs at Flowery Field one afternoon, I remember, and we realised he's not going to be playing threes very long. He's been a very useful addition to the side generally, Sam. Oh, that's clipped off his legs though. Ben Duckworth straying again there, just too full. And Ben Duckworth finding the boundary for the first time there. I think that was a nice shot as well, just really stylishly clipped away, too full, and the man back at deep backward square leg had no chance. It was over Dan Ward's head at mid-wicket. Oh, no. That's a good reply from Sam. He's another ball to bowl. So curious over, 5 wides, 2 dots, a couple of singles, but that boundary. So 11 in total off the over. And after this ball, and with 10 overs remaining, that's just a single. Well done. Ben Duckworth. So yeah, 10 overs remaining now, and as you can see, 77 required, so you can do the maths yourselves at home for the run rate. Intriguingly poised. Didsbury were only 42 at this stage, 42 for 3, so Georgians well ahead by comparison. We're going to... I don't think he'll be allowed a runner though. If it's not an external blow, you're not allowed one. Only allowed runners for external injuries. The captains can agree to it, but he's under no obligation to, and under the laws of the game, it has to. This is still Matthew Laker. Going to bowl. It's final over. Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't he? 3 for 11 off 3 overs, and this could be a crucial over for Didsbury. He's been the form bowler. Best figures in the match, really, for this spell. But that's a nice shot again from Ben Duckworth. He's flicked that away, and I think, is he going to get... No, just a couple, 2 men coming, converging on it. Jack Hastings coming round from fine leg. 2 runs. Nice shot from Ben Duckworth. The double figures. Laker running back to his mark there. He wants to get on with it. No run this time. It's a very important over, this one. We were talking earlier about Neil Pennington's 2 overs for just 8. He was only given 2. Didsbury thankfully didn't have more the way he bowled, but these 3 and a bit from Matthew Laker have been excellent. Full length, that's just going to be a single down the ground as Dan Ward comes round. Should only be 1 from Dan Ward at long on. We'll see him with the ball in his hand before too long. Well, full toss, so loose ball. He's got away with that, really, Matthew Lake. Only a single. Kilbride. Still a gloomy evening. Just getting steadily worse all the time. Thankfully dry. Now, that's gone up in the air. Can anybody get underneath that? I think so. He can. That's Tom Beresford, has caught a very good catch indeed. And that is another key breakthrough for Didsbury, getting rid of Ben Duckworth, who decided to try and hit Matthew Laker, who has been bowling really, really well. Decided to try and whack him for some reason, and Didsbury will be delighted that he's done so, because it was a fine catch from Tom Beresford. You saw him scurrying around. Now Duckworth is staying out there. Has he been allowed a runner? Well, I don't know. That defeats me as to why he's been allowed a runner. Anyway, Kilbride is on strike. And he's got well, he's run anyway. So why has he got a runner out there? That's ridiculous. Kilbride, run him out! 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 Well, Didsbury missed a chance there. Sorry about my shouting. The injured striker left his ground and would have been run out if they'd have taken the bails off at the wicket-keeper's end. I do say players don't know the laws, and that's cost Didsbury a wicket, because that was the easiest run out. The injured striker leaves his ground, he can be run out. He shouldn't be running. He shouldn't have a runner, and he shouldn't be if he leaves his ground, he can be out regardless of the position of the other batsman. There's two dots here now. It's a bit of confusion all round, because we've got to keep an eye on the man who's been allowed to run for him. Ben Duckworth's been allowed to run for him. 62 for 4 is the score. We've got Kilbride on strike. Yeah, well, I've got Kilbride on strike. So they've run one now. So that is a single. So that is one for Kilbride. So now we're going to have Sam Bailey on strike. He's taking guard. 63 for 4 is the score. Sorry, there's some confusion here, and I apologise for the shouting, but Didsbury have shot themselves in the foot there, not knowing the laws. There shouldn't be a runner out there anyway, because the batsman suffered an internal injury. An external one. Sam Bailey off with a single. So that brings Michael Kilbride back onto strike. Now, as I say, he hit that ball and ran, and all Didsbury needed to do in the last over was take the stumps off, take the bails off at the striker's end, and he would have been run out, regardless of where the other batsmen were. pausing for a moment now. Didsbury make sure they've got 4 men in the circle. They haven't. So somebody, whoever saw that, well done. A bit of alertness. They've now got 4 in. James Bidwell coming in off the cover boundary to make it 4 in the circle. Right. Confusing all around, but there we are. It's 2 balls to go in this over. Nicely hit by Michael Gilbride, but I suppose Didsbury won't be too bothered if he's going to dot it up like this. 5 off 10. And in this tight situation, dot balls are worth a great deal to the home side. It's nicely hit though by Michael Gilbride. That's stiff and that's gone through the gap, and he's hit that last ball of the over for 4. Six off that over, and that leaves Georgians requiring, well, they're over halfway now in that effectively. They're 68 for 4 off 9, so they need 66 more off 8 overs. And Matthew Laker, after his fine spell of 4 for 16, that's been replaced, and we're going to have Rohan Agarwal is going to bowl. So we're going to have the first look at spin for Didsbury. Bailey will be on strike. Didsbury just organising the field for Sam Bailey. Just his second ball. Man back going back on the point boundary now. So Rohan Agarwal in to bowl to Bailey. Good first ball, dot ball. And that all helps as... Just looking at the requirement. 8.5. Just about is the requirement. So Georgians under that, but not far away. So still a very intriguingly poised match. There's a bit of controversy in the middle about what's gone on, but I'll just get on with it for now. It's up to the players to sort it out. And so if they'd have been aware of the laws in that previous over, they'd have had one of the easiest wickets they'll ever have, but tough on them. And in some ways as well, I think the situation with the runner might confuse the Georgians batsman. 3 dots this over. Good start from Rohan Agarwal. That's a nice hit. Now I can lose in that, in this gloom. That's gone down to long on for a single. So Sam brings Michael Kilbride back onto strike. This has been an excellent over. Right, for the first time climbs above 9. Rohan Agarwal 4 dots on a single. Be very pleased with that. And for the first time, Didsbury are just only getting a grip in their field. Let's see what happens to the last ball of the over. We know often what can happen with the last ball. Oh, well, that's this time Michael Gilbride realising he has to stand and stay in his ground, and that's okay this time. 2 leg byes. And when we put our light on to signal to the umpires, it's very bright indeed. So that just off, there's 1 run coming off Rohan Agarwal's bowling itself. 2 leg byes, 3 in total. An excellent over from Didsbury's perspective. 10 gone, 71 for 4. Georgians require 63 off 7. And we are going to persist with Sammy out. 2 overs for 18 so far, Sam. I can't imagine it's that easy to see. No, it really is gloomy. I think we'll be playing red ball cricket. Do you in this? Neil? I don't think so, no. So, Sam Bailey on strike. The requirement 63. 9 runs and over from here for Georgians. And he's given out straight away there by umpire Rocky Kapoor. Bailey playing back. LBW, so he's out for 2. And we're going to see the captain, Rhys Kibble. Neil informs me, coming in for Georgians. 71 for 5. Good start for Sam Youds. Full and straight. The captain just comes in at a difficult time for his side. He's going to need a captain's innings. Not an easy time to start. 20 past 8 at night. It is dark. And you've got a bowler, one of the quicker bowlers in the team, coming in. Tail up, just taking a wicket. Nice full ball. Loud appeal, but umpire Kapoor saying no. But from Didsbury's perspective, a dot ball, that's as important at this stage. Every dot ball builds pressure and the run rate will increase. So that'll be easy for anybody coming into bat now. Oof, and he's gone broken for that one, Rhys Kibble. Didsbury. Yeah, it was 8 on. Stuck on the. Sorry, we're just aware that there was a fault with the board. Yeah, click the overs on. 10 overs gone. Connected, so I was informed of that. Thankfully, so the players know where we're up to. Rhys Kibble away with should just be 1. James Bidwell coming on for cover boundary. 72 for 5. Short. And the batsman and my careful. That's silly play because there could have been an overthrow there, but wasn't. Just 1. Michael Kilbride is getting the hang of being an injured striker now. He has to stand still and stay in his ground. He just about set off that time and remembered, stayed where he was. There's a man running at square leg. It's very confusing for cricketers not used to this. He shouldn't, in my opinion, be having a runner anyway, but that's what's been allowed. So there we are. Rhys Kibble back on strike. Oh, that's hit him on the pads. It will be a leg by when it looks at this, from umpire Kapoor. But just 3 runs off the over, and the rate now hits 10 runs and over required in these last 6.
Come on, Agate, come on, Estonia!
And that is an excellent comeback from Didsbury. Just 3 runs off the last 2 overs. And that wicket as well. Just going back, never mind all the things about runners and all those kinds of things. Ben Duckworth shot. Just thinking about that, Neil. It's a bit of a. I don't know why he did it, but Didsbury won't be complaining. You see Duckworth the non-strike, but he's just running now for Michael Kilbride, and that was capable of fanning the boundary. Ben Duckworth, so Didsbury will be delighted that that occurred, as it did. As Rowan Agarwal, an excellent first over.
Yes, bro. Big cooking glass, bro.
For Kibble. That's a standstill. He's knocked it away for a single. And the batsmen are going back for 2. 2 completed. got to have the wits about them with a runner. There are some umpires, not mentioning any names, but me, would look to get the injured striker out straight away to have the confusion done with. Just appeal for anything. But, we have to know what's going on. Difficult to know what to watch. Well bowled again, Rowan Agarwal.
Yes, Aggie, bowling guys.
The dot. 5 dots already in the 9 balls he's bowled. Still a young man, Rowan, but such a good temperament. That should only be a single. Dan once thrown hard to the bowler's end, and this is sloppy cricket. There was absolutely no need to do that. Should only have been 1. Becomes 2. Oh dear. 79 for 5 now, Georgians. So Rohan hits back with another dot. And again, that's a sloppy throw, and Georgians, I wouldn't have a problem with them running for that. Didsbury got away with that one because that was a poor throw back from Ryan Wilson. The ball was still live, but no run was taken. And now, this time Dan Ward just keep hold of the ball. He does, that's better, Dan. Single that time, that was only ever going to be 1. 6 off the over. Another good over from Rowan Agarwal. 2 overs for 7 for him. That's an excellent effort. And with 5 overs remaining, Georgians 80 for 5. They need 54 off these last 5. The rate's almost 11. Sammy Out is going to have a final over. 1 for 20 from his 3 so far. Georgians play this from here. They know they're going to have to find the boundary or run extremely well. Didsbury will just be looking to keep this as tight as possible. It's a nice full ball. Hold the ball, hold the ball. That's quite and credit to Dan Ward. After that loose piece of fielding previously, he was going to throw there, so nobody was backing up, so just kept hold of it, which was much the more sensible thing to do. So good example of somebody and a quick learner. On him. So Captain Reese Kibble on strike. The full one from Sammy Out. He's getting that length now, and that's very difficult to hit. Always run the hits, you know, that's out if it hits, but didn't hit, and there was a Rowan Agarwal around backing up very well there that time. It's fair enough from Dan Ward. He didn't try and throw too hard. A direct hit, I think, would have had a wicket. Rowan Agarwal alert, backing up. Single taken. So we're creeping up 11.5 now. Didsbury just getting a grip on this game. And a single taken, that's okay. And again, just silly play. Kicking the ball against the stumps, it rebounds away, it could have gone anywhere. Fortunately for Didsbury, just a single. Full toss. I think it's only going to be. It's not going to be penalised for height, I don't think. Oh, 2 something, 2 runs. Thought it'd come off his pad. 2 runs is the result from Captain Reese Kibble. Requirement under 50 now for Georgians. 49 wanted, but just 25 balls remaining. The umpire's just coming together to have a chat. I don't know if it's about that last ball or not. Height. We're coming together to talk about something. What's gone on here? Just out of your shot. Kirkbright is asking. We're just having a private discussion about something. I presume it must have been to do with the height. So the outcome is nothing as far as the game concerns. The last ball of this 13th over. in, but that's only a dot ball, and that's a good end to his spell. 1 for 25 in 4 overs. Just 5 off that previous over, so the rate now has climbed to 2 a ball. And that's where Didsbury want it to be, because that's a lot of pressure for the batting side now. 4 overs remaining, 49 required. 85 for 5 the score. Didsbury now will want to finish this off. And, they've got themselves into a good position. Can't afford any complacency. Down the wicket, and is out, stumped, and that is Michael Kilbride. His innings of 17. Oh, we had to try and do something. He's out for 17, top score of the innings. And so the runner will leave the field as well. Both come off, and Georgians 85 for 6. Rather quiet as they come off. There's not a lot of belief, it doesn't seem, amongst the batting side or off the field. There's an indication how much noise the batting side are making watching their teammates batting. That's how confident they feel. It is very gloomy indeed. They're requiring 12.5 and over coming in at this stage. It's a daunting task. I would have thought it would need a lot of vocal support from the dressing room myself, but it seems to be very much. I'm not complaining from a Didsbury perspective. Neil raises his eyebrows next to me as his son Carlos. He's going to face his first ball. Big lad Carlos again. He keeps growing every time I see him. 6'2", goodness.
Yes, bro, yes, bro.
Just got two batters out there now. This has been excellent from Rohan Agarwal. 1 for 7 from 2.2 at this stage. So he's cool as a Glacier's Fox's Glacier mint for those of a certain age. He's been nicked away there, and that's a nice shot. 4 for Carlos Wakefield. And finally some noise from the Georgians batters.
Only halfway, Tom. Halfway.
A few supporters down as well, it's not too far away. Nice to hear them. A welcome boundary. This one in 4.5 overs. Wide ball called by Kirkbride. See in there now, our light. Acknowledgement light glowing very brightly. First boundary, as I say, in 4 overs for Georgians. That's one of the reasons the rate's climbed as high as it has. That's kept low. Only going to be a single.
Yes, you did know.
Died on
I heard that one. Yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
91 for 6.
Yeah, I'd love one.
So there's the captain on to strike, Rhys Kibble. He's gone again for pull. Can only get one. And all these ones will build the pressure. The rate climbs above 13. And will just be a single to finish, as well as Carlos Wakefield hits that out to deep point. So a super over from Rohan Agarwal, 7 runs off it. Wicket 1 for 15 off his 3. And that leaves Georgians 93 for 6, 41 of the remaining 18 balls, as you can see. 3 overs remaining. Didsbury will need a new bowler, and it's going to be Stuart Stoneman, whose fine innings earlier, I think, is going to define the match. 51 off 32 balls, correction, for Stuart Stoneman. Came in with Didsbury 28 for 3, and in a bit of a mess, to be honest. Could have been stumped. He was 35, but got away with that one. And his contribution looking more and more telling. I'm going to see him bowling a few paces. We've got deep mid wicket. deep square leg, cover on the boundary. No one behind. Oh, short fine leg. It's there. Long off and Lonham. And he's hit that straight to the man at cover, Dan Ward. So that's a good start for Stoneman. Georgians have to find a boundary. You know that. Easier said than done. Long off and long on back as well. He's going to have to put pace on it. He's hit that well, but that's going to be deep in wicket fielding. And they're going to go for... Oh, no, there's never two there, boys. One it is. Strike. You heard Stuart Stoneman there just shouting, hold, hold. That's all Didsbury need to do. Ones won't hurt them. Down the wicket, that's not going to be caught. It's kind of clumped. We might get two here, but it can only be two. Bidwell coming in. Yeah, 2 runs. A bit of a clump from Carlos Wakefield into a big gap. The fielder's right back. So welcome 2, but it doesn't do a great deal, I'm afraid, for Georgians. They need the ball over the rope. That one, that's again a bit. He's found the fielder there. He's just pull back at the very last split second from really whacking it. Carlos Wakefield just placed it right to the man on the boundary. That's Chris Elsden out there. It's very difficult to see, it's very dark. Last ball of this 15th over, and will just be one more. Dan Ward will pick the ball up and hold it. Again, well done young Dan, that's better. So just 6 runs off that over from Stuart Stoneman. 99 for 6, 2 overs remaining. Didsbury have really dragged themselves back into this game. They're going to have another bowler, I think, because they can only have 2 bowl 4. So oh no, they're allowed. They must be allowed 3 to bowl 4. Well, there we go. Rohan's going to have his 4th and final over. Yep.
One more.
So, Rohan Agarwal, final over for him.
Yes,
And that is a dot to start with, another dot. From Rohan, 9 dots. Balls he's bowled, only been gone for boundary once at the moment, and he's bowled terrifically well. An LBW is the result there for that one. Reece Kibble trying to flick him away, but he moved right across in front of his stumps. A 2nd wicket for Rohan Agarwal. And Didsbury just about there. And just Neil assuring me that Jonah Wall is coming out to bat. So looks tall enough, but he's got Saul Ashton's shirt on, but there's a spare shirt apparently. So don't be fooled by that. It is Jonah Wall who's coming out to face a very difficult situation. 35 needed of 10 balls. As Reece Kibble departs, LBW to Rohan Agarwal for 8.
Come on, Aggie. Hey, so horse has not been that good getting anywhere. Lord's test match is staying there.
Single Jonah Wall away with that one. 100 up for Georgians. But that will be a little comfort for them. As Carlos Wakefield goes big now. Has he hit it well enough? He's got away with being caught. Matthew Laker just couldn't quite get there. But he hasn't found the boundary. Just 2 runs. Has to try and do that, of course, Carlos. As you said, that's not going to be the boundary either. James Bidwell, the man out there, only going to be one. Big throw back to the keeper, but just a single. So this last ball of Rowan Agawal's excellent spell. As Jonah Wall has come down, I think he's going to get away with that as well. He's chipped it into a gap. There's 2 runs. Just keep hold of the ball, James. Thank you. 2 runs, and that will do in that situation. Just 6 off that over. 2 for 21. Rohan Agawal finishes with 4 excellent overs. What a fine young player he is, and he's really dug his side out of a bit of a hole there. Bidwell brothers bowling their 3 overs for 29. First one a bit expensive, but Matthew Laker with 4 for 16, and now Rohan Agawal with 2 for 21, and Sam Youds latterly recovering really well. Have got Didsbury out of jail, really. So I've not changed on the board, they have now. Changed on my screen in front of me. Anyway, last over, 29 needed. Stuart Stoneman started with a wide. So, 28 needed. 6, and stranger things have happened. But, it will be some. He has got a short boundary on the leg side, Carlos Wakefield, and he will be eyeing that up. He's guided that one into a gap. That's a nice shot, and that should go for 4. That's very intelligent batting from Carlos. Try and whack it, instead placed it. And that will give Didsbury a bit of who'd have thought. It's effectively 5 off 1 ball. That was an intelligent piece of play, and indeed they're moving Matthew Laker finer now at short third man. So let's see what Carlos will be thinking this ball. He's setting himself. He's gone for the whack, but he's going to be caught. He's caught by Matthew Laker at backward point. Yeah, went for the slice. Oh, they went for the big shot rather than sliced it. Matthew Laker an easy catch at short third man, and I think the game just about up now, well and truly up. And Didsbury will progress as the real Saul Ashton comes out to bat. Wakefield, a good joint top score actually, 17 off 12, and it was an intelligent boundary, that previous one, but had to try and find some more. Obviously a very difficult situation for him. So the batsman did cross, so Jonah will be on strike. And, now 6 a ball, of course, so that poor start, we certainly have got away, and there's so many things that I think Georgians could look at. Reece Kimmels 2 overs for 26. Neil Pennington had replaced him 2 overs for 8. 23 wides that they bowled as well, and missed stumping there, I think. Might have been, but it's a dot. Didsbury won't mind now, so that's the game just about. Oh, it's safe now. And also the fact they pushed the field back very quickly after the power play when they bowled so well in the power play with fielders in, which we mentioned at the time. A curiosity for me. Down the track from Big Jonah. Single for him. There's 2 balls remaining now. And Didsbury managed to get a partnership going, despite not batting fluently enough. 130 is short of what 140 what I thought they needed to do, but might be not another catch this time, just Matthew Laker lets it drop for him. Single is the result. But I think those top 4 of the, certainly 3 of the top 4 for Georgians will think about how the shots they played. Certainly Neil Pennington started so well and then didn't seem to me just to try and accelerate a bit too early. And Didsbury won't be complaining. Has he bowled him? He's bowled him. I think that's bowled off the last ball. Well, we can't quite see it from our angle, but it's a dot ball. The match is over, and Didsbury have won by 21 runs. Their defence of the T20 trophy will continue. the point, it was definitely a dot ball, and Didsbury have definitely won by 21 runs, whichever, whether it was a dismissal or not. I apologise if not. Our view from here is not that good, and the light is poor. But yes, the home side really recovering well with the ball after a loose start. Matthew Laker bowled really well, 4 for 16, and Rowan Agarwal 2 for 21 were excellent. Stuart Stoneman cleaned up with 2 for 13 at the end. And Georgians, having got themselves into a decent position, I think will regret some of the shots they selected. A very talented team, but for now their interest in the second 11 trophy comes to an end as Didsbury press on this gloomy evening. We've done well to get a game in, thankfully, the rain that was around, and Didsbury progressed through. So thank you for joining us with our coverage. Hope you've enjoyed it. And this is James Emerson, the Didsbury scorer. My thanks to Neil Wakefield, the Georgian scorer, for his help tonight as the teams leave the field, and we'll join you again Thursday night. Will be a cracking game. Didsbury first 11 against Hyde, first 11 in the T20. Do join us for that Thursday evening, all being well, and we thank you for joining us on our broadcast this evening.